The romance genre is probably one of my favorite genres to watch, mainly because you get a chance to see these different characters trying to form a relationship. Some series, they hate each other. Some series are childhood friends. Some series last way too long with no conclusion, something that could have been easily done in one season that takes 2 seasons to realize. I'm looking at you, Rent-A-Girlfriend. But the series I'm going to be covering today actually doesn't do that. They actually get into the relationship pretty quickly, with a few little bit ups and downs, but they get it way quicker than normal romance anime. And the anime I'll be talking about is called Horimiya. Horimiya follows these 2 characters named Izumi and Kyouko. Kyouko is this really smart girl and beautiful in the eyes of her classmates, and Izumi is this loner who stays to himself and really doesn't talk to anybody. They are really the 2 opposites of each other. One is really strong and outputting, while Izumi is not really that outputting, and people will judge him based off his glasses that he's this nerdy little otaku. What they put it in the anime, they think he's like this weird little otaku who keeps to himself, until Kyouko discovers that he's really a punk with tattoos and piercings. They make it really clear how many piercings he has. And Kyouko was basically the only person to ever see that. And they kept this like this little secret to where they wouldn't show his piercings or his tattoos to anybody, or was afraid of getting in trouble with the teachers and stuff. So they formed this little friendship where Izumi comes to Kyoko's house, they talk and all this other stuff. But Izumi doesn't really think they have a friendship at all. Mainly because of Izumi's past, where people would try to avoid him and not even talk to him, basically keeping him as an outsider to every friendship ever, and he's usually getting bullied by the other kids. But his whole life is changed based off his connection with Kyouko. In Kyouko, he gets a chance to meet other friends besides her. He forms a good bromance with Toru and forms a really good chip with Yuki. And then the student council comes along and they can form a really good friendship. And I kind of like the fact that it's not the most craziest story when it comes to romance, mainly because we always see this when it comes to like the loser girl who gets with the popular guy, or the loser guy who gets with the popular girl. We always see that in anime, and it's not something that's crazy when it comes to this anime. But it's really fun to watch those stories, mainly because when it comes to schools, it's always the popular girls get with the popular guys, or popular guys get with the popular girls. Well, like I said, as much as it's not a new concept when it comes to romance anime, it's really fun to watch. And I kind of like the fact that they get to the relationships really quickly. I think certain romance animes really like depend on the fact that, oh, he confesses, he tries to confess to her, or she tried to confess to him, and we just go in this like loop. And there's certain like animes that actually do a really good job with that, like series like From Me to You. But I'm just glad like certain romance anime just gets right into it instead of just waiting like 5 seasons of the same thing over and over again. Something that could have been done in like a season. To be honest, there's certain romance animes that are like, oh, you know, I kind of like the long going thing where they're trying to figure each other out and see if they have an actual connection. But there's certain series that just dragging on for way too long. But I'm glad Horimiya did it to where it's not the main cast that, or the main 2 characters that deal with this long going thing. The whole like Toru, Yuki and Sakura relationship, if that would have just made Horimiya, I would have never watched it, because the whole dynamic is crazy. He likes her, but she likes him. It's the whole thing, and I'm glad that it wasn't like the main plot of this whole anime. Yeah, that's probably one of the things that I didn't really care about in this series. I didn't really care about the other relationships, in my opinion. I think they aren't as good, and I feel like they're basically just dragging along. I feel like you couldn't have such a good story if you just focus on the main 2 people. And I'm usually the type of person that think that side characters should get the same attention as the main people of the show. But in this series, I just felt like they aren't as important to me, or I don't really care for it. And it's not like a bad thing that they focus on the side characters and their relationships, but I feel like this relationship and the side, you know, the side story was just not interesting. It was very frustrating because it's like they're going back and forth. And as much as I think that a relationship should be back and forth and they try to form any connection, I think it was just nonsense. And I feel like they could have just focused on the main 2 and the series would have been better. In my general opinion, if you have a different opinion, comment down below. I will happily see what you guys think and what do you guys think of my opinion. But another thing I feel like is that we don't really focus on Kyouko and her problems when it comes to this series. I feel like she doesn't get the chance to be a fleshed out character. And I get like the first, like, I think there's one episode where she's like, oh, she's getting taken advantage of by the student council. But it's like, it's the only reason she's only doing it because her childhood friend that she used to bully is gonna say that she used to bully him back when they were children, and that was like that leverage she had. But I feel like we don't really get a chance to see another side of her, and they probably gonna go into it more in the second season of the series. If it has a second season, I don't know, I'll probably put it on the screen. But if they don't really go into it, I feel like just focusing on one side of the couple is kind of a waste of opportunity, because we don't really get a chance to see how she is and her struggles when it comes to certain things. We really only see Izumi's side of struggling, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like in the second season, if there is a second season, we get a chance to see more of her struggles and her backstory instead of just Izumi's backstory. And I'm hoping that they do that. I think it'd be cool, like, if they dedicate a few episodes to it. And the other thing I like about this series, that Izumi's just welcomed into their house. Like, just he's automatically just part of the family. And that's really it. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys like, subscribe, talk to me in the comments about if you guys like this series or not. And I highly recommend you guys watch it. It's a really wholesome anime, romance anime. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe again, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.